Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to the Road Warrior. Having let's just call it a discussion. It was a semi-argument with a friend the other day. We were talking about the history of country music. And he's a crotchety old guy, older, I think a few years older than me, and much more crotchety than me. I can rival him at times, but he's a pretty bitter guy. And whether rightfully so or not, he is who he is. And was complaining that kids today don't appreciate, understand, or know the history of country music. And I said to him, I get it. When I started working in country music, I didn't know anything of the history other than the basics. I knew who Hank Williams Sr. was. I'd heard of Lefty Frizzell. I could name a song or two, but I didn't care. That didn't impact me. I knew the Waylon Jennings songs, the Willie Nelson songs I needed, and the Merle Haggard songs I needed to know, but I didn't care. I liked what I liked. I didn't like what I didn't like. Over the course of time, as my career grew in the country music field and the industry, I found a desire and a need to learn more history, to become almost a historian. Now, I'm not one of the biggest historians in the world when it comes to country music, but I do know a few of them who are. I'm friends with a couple of the guys who are probably the biggest history guys in country music outside of working for the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. And I love spending time with them and just talking about things. But I said to him, what is history exactly? The one thing about history, even teaching it in schools, every new day, and I've talked about this before, is another day to add to history. So kids who are learning history now in grade school have 50 more years of history to deal with than what I had. The Vietnam War, which we were in the midst of when I was in school, is now, darn near 50 years in the rear view. Where is its importance? World War II, which is now, 75 years past? Yes, important, but how much? And he's like, well, because of the Ukraine situation, it's more important now. Okay. But in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years, could that change? It's the hard thing about history. History doesn't change, but the importance of a certain amount of history changes. Does it matter today if country music singers coming up, no matter how much they've experienced, know who Hank Williams was? Know who Hank Williams Jr. was? Does that matter? Because as I told him, I said, I remember when I first started in country music, Alabama, the band that's now in the Hall of Fame, the band that's now the largest, the most successful, the most popular band in the history of country music, people used to call the request lines at a couple of stations I worked at back in those late 70s, early 80s, and complain about us playing rock music. Because the group Alabama was considered a rock band to their eyes. Because they didn't have enough of a twang, because they had 2 electric guitars in the band, because they had beards, because they didn't look country. They didn't wear cowboy hats or boots or whatever. And I told him, I liked Alabama, didn't love them, came to love them because I got to know them, have worked with a couple of the band members in the music business end of things after the fact. And I've gotten to know them as people more than just, people in a huge band and a successful in a Hall of Fame band. But I said it's kind of funny how history's all in the eyes of the beholder. It's all perspective. It's all different for everybody. What is history? How much does it matter? It may matter more or less to you than it does to me. And my question is that a bad thing? As long as somebody keeps track of the history, you hope it's the right person. But again, all history is from a personal perspective anyway. I can only tell you the experience of what's going on in Ukraine right now from my visibility. There are people who were there, who are there, who will be able to tell us things differently. They will see it from a different perspective. It's all the same history. It just all depends on who's writing it down. Back next week, another Road Warrior. KevinMason.us, home to all the Road Warrior videos. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We love it when you like, comment, share, subscribe, all those kinds of things that people on videos are supposed to tell you to do to get you to watch more, to be, all that kind of stuff. We're back next week with another one. You can't get rid of us that easy. It's like history. These will be here forever. Or maybe not. See you next week. Thanks.